have a chance. Richarlison. Cuts it back. Oh, what a goal! First up! It's just the 5th minute.
Still Lewandowski. Still Doski. Finds Dembele, and Dembele scores an equaliser. What a pass from Lewandowski. He has been the best player. He has actually got 2 assists. One of Gavi's goal and now Dembele's goal.
And City wins! City won the match. Manchester City won the match.
Hello everybody, this is Brisbane05 Blast here and welcome back to another video of this channel. Today's match we're actually going to be doing a prediction game of the UCL Round of 16 first leg. And it's going to be Bayer Leverkusen taking on Arsenal right here at the BayArena in Germany. So Bayer Leverkusen, they're not actually doing pretty well in Bundesliga, to be fair. I mean, it's only between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, the old days, I would say, the older fashioned German two rival teams, I would say. Both these teams are only fighting for the title, but Leverkusen in the UCL in Champions League, they're actually doing pretty okay. They're now in the round of 16. They've actually won the playoffs against Olympiacos 2-0 thanks to a masterclass performance from Patrick Schick. Scored 2 goals to actually give Leverkusen the round of 16 ticket. However, Arsenal on the other hand, they've basically been perfect in the UCL group stage. They won all 8 games, not a single loss, won 3 difficult games, 4-0 against Atletico Madrid, 3-1 against Bayern Munich, and then 3-1 against Inter Milan. So this kind of puts Arsenal in a very good position to actually win the UCL. And you know the fun part is, both these teams have actually won Invincibles in their respective leagues. So Arsenal, as you already know, they've won Invincible in the 2003-04 season, whereas Leverkusen, on the other hand, with the likes of Florian Wirtz, the likes of Grimaldo, the likes of Hincapié, the likes of Jeremy Frimpong, Granit Xhaka, Patrick Schick, the list goes on and on. They actually did more than Arsenal. They not only won the Invincible for the league, they also won the Invincible for the cup competition. But Leverkusen had the opportunity to do the Invincible for treble. Even though it was poor man's treble, but he had the opportunity, or they had the opportunity to win the treble as Invincibles basically. But they lost in the finals to Atlanta, which is kind of heartbreaking because they deserve to win it. But yeah, beating this Leverkusen who have been invincible a few seasons ago is going to be very tough. And yes, they've lost Wirtz. They basically lost Wirtz. They've lost Hincapié. Well, Hincapié is on loan. They've lost Jeremy Frimpong and of course Xhaka. But still, they have a very good squad. They have Tillman, a very good winger, I would say. And they still have Patrick Schick. They have Flecken, who's a pretty good keeper. They have Kwanzaa, Tapsoba. So many talent players Leverkusen have. So it's going to be a very close game here. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please make sure to like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get to the BayArena to see Leverkusen and Arsenal fight with each other. Alright guys, we're here to see the UCL Round of 16 clash. And it's Bayer Leverkusen taking on Arsenal right here at the BayArena in Germany, of course. And yeah, both these sides have been basically balanced in terms of quality players. And yeah, I mean, of course, the force of Bayer in probably Leverkusen's Tifo right there. But yeah, I mean, the last time these two sides met was back in the 2001-02 season, where of course, it was in the group stage match where Arsenal drew in Leverkusen, but then they smashed Leverkusen in Highbury 4-1. That's the reason why they're now, 24 years later, they're back in this prestigious competition. But anyway, let's just enjoy this UEFA Champions League anthem. Alright, now we're going to take a look at Bayer Leverkusen's starting lineup. Of course, Mark Flecken is the player in goal. But of course, they have a lot of substituted players. But yeah, Flecken is in goal. Hincapié, Tapsoba, Kwanzaa, Grimaldo, Palacios, Andrik, Arthur, Tillman, Teller, and of course their clinical 9, Patrick Schick, who's basically Leverkusen's main man right now. But yeah, I mean, the last time, like I said, the last time these two sides met, Arsenal had Thierry Henry, Robert Pires, and Ljungberg. Whereas, of course, Bayer Leverkusen had Michael Ballack, Berbatov, and then Park Ji-song, you name it. But yeah, speaking of Arsenal, we're going to take a look at their starting lineup. And they have star-studded squad. So yeah, Mikel Arteta is the man as the coach. He's basically the man in touch sideline. But yeah, Raya is the man in goal. Lewis Kelly, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber, Odegaard, Rice, Zubamendi, Trossard, Gyökeres, and Bukayo Saka. So they're basically the 3 forwards here for Arsenal. Can they dictate the defense? But anyway, guys, Bayer Leverkusen vs Arsenal is coming right up. Who's going to win this match? Will it be Leverkusen or Arsenal? Looks like Arsenal will be the one to kick off in this first leg of this round of 16 clash. And why wouldn't they be? Because they're probably one of the best team in England. Whereas Leverkusen, they're probably the underrated team in Germany. They actually won the Invincible just a few years back over the likes of Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. And it is probably going to be very intense here. Arsenal also did the Invincibles like Leverkusen did a few years back. They won it in 2003-04 season. Where of course Arsenal had the likes of Vieira, Henry, and Ljungberg. Right now Leverkusen are on the attack. Here's Patrick Schick. Schick finds Palacios. Palacios to Teller. Still Teller. Teller shoots, but it just... he scuffs it wide, and Leverkusen fans were kind of unhappy about this because that could have been an opportunity for Leverkusen to take the lead. But it is what it is because the players are really in pressure right now. They're in the round of 16. Probably like the 4th best round of this competition, I would say. But yeah, looks like Leverkusen still have the possession here. Here's Andrik, the skipper. Andrik finds Malik Tillman. Back to Andrik. Andrik to Arthur. Arthur to Schick. Still Schick. Schick scores. Or shoots, sorry. I thought he scored for a second, but Schick shoots. But however, the curling effort was just not there. It just hits the side netting. Unlucky here for Leverkusen there. It just hits the post there and has got out for a goal kick, and Arsenal will be taking this one. Nice. Hurrien Timber, Arsenal's best right back so far. Here's Saliba. Saliba to Zubamendi. Zubamendi crosses it to Bukayo Saka, but somehow Grimaldo gets this one over. And yeah, Patrick Schick is literally the player to watch. He's literally Leverkusen's clinical 9 right here. Scored a brace against Olympiacos in the playoffs. So he's literally the player to watch in this round of 16 clash. And would the Leverkusen fans be happy if he scores? Now here's Patrick Schick, but what a tackle here from Saliba. Odegaard to Rice. Rice to Gyökeres. Gyökeres to Trossard. Back to Gyökeres. Gyökeres to Trossard. Trossard to Saka. Saka tries to find Odegaard, but Tapsoba makes an interception here. And now here's Grimaldo. Grimaldo finds Schick. But yeah, Leverkusen, they don't have that mentality here. They've lost Florian Wirtz. They've lost Xhaka, and they of course lost Frimpong. So this is going to be a very different Leverkusen side. But however, Leverkusen have just won a penalty thanks to a Hurrien Timber handball. This is something that Arsenal should not... They should not be conceding so many handballs like this. I mean, they haven't had a handball situation, but they should not be conceding penalties. But anyway, Leverkusen have a penalty, and who else but Patrick Schick to take this one? Will he score, or will Raya make an impressive save? No, he won't. Schick makes it look so easy as Leverkusen get the opening goal of this tie. In just 2 shots, Patrick Schick gives Leverkusen the lead. Arsenal they're really worried about this because Leverkusen, they have lost Florian Wirtz, they have lost Granit Xhaka, and they have lost Frimpong, but they're still the same Leverkusen. They have the mentality to go forward, and that's what they did so far. Patrick Schick scores the penalty goal, and right now Leverkusen have the early lead on the Gunners. Both these teams are invincibles in their respective leagues. Arsenal in 2003-2004 season, Leverkusen in 2023 and 2024 season. So it's going to be edgy here. It's not going to be an easy game for both these sides. But right now, Leverkusen have an early lead over Arsenal. Can Arsenal come back? They always do. But this is the Champions League. You don't know if they can actually come back. And it does have full of surprises. So this is going to be very cagey here for these two sides. Here's Zubimendi. Zubimendi to Gyökeres. Gyökeres finds Lewis Kelly. However, an advantage play for Arsenal. Odegaard shoots. And he just gives Arsenal the equalizer within a span of maybe 5 to 6 minutes here. The captain gives Arsenal the equalizing goal. And he, of course, celebrates in the center of the field. But it is going to be a booking here for Leverkusen. Tapsoba will be getting the yellow card. We got to take a look at the highlights. The replay. Odegaard scores. Didn't show it completely, but Arsenal do manage to score the equalizing goal. But yeah, Tapsoba will be getting the yellow card after that bad tackle here on one of the Arsenal players. But yep, I told you it's going to be very cagey. It's not going to be very easy for these both sides. It will probably take a bit of hard work to maybe get a lead here, but Arsenal, they give the ball away, and Leverkusen will be having a throw-in. But as you can see on shots on target, Leverkusen have had more shots on target than Arsenal. However, Arsenal's one shot on target was actually a goal, whereas Leverkusen's 2 shots on target was actually saved by Raya or missed, which in fact was actually a miss. But it is what it is right now. But anyway, it's Declan Rice with it. Declan Rice to Odegaard. Odegaard makes a wonderful cross, but somehow just misplaces it. And Martin Zubimendi will be the one to receive the yellow card after that bad tackle on Palacios. Leverkusen will be having a throw-in. He finds Andrik. Andrik to Arthur. Arthur back to Andrik. Andrik to Schick. Schick to Palacios. Palacios to Tillman. Patrick Schick with an overlapping run, but he decides to find Andrik there. And Arsenal get this one away. It's still with Arsenal. Here's Zubimendi. Zubimendi finds Saka, but somehow it's an interception here, and Grimaldo gets this one. He finds Patrick Schick. Patrick Schick to Grimaldo. Timber might have messed the tackle there. Now here's Patrick Schick. Schick to Grimaldo. Grimaldo to Teller. Teller back to Grimaldo. Oh, I don't know who the Grimaldo player is. He's actually received the ball, by the way. But anyway, Leverkusen get this one away. But it's still with Leverkusen. I mean, Arsenal got that one away, but it's still with Leverkusen. I kind of fluffed my lines, just lost some words there. But anyway, Arsenal do get this one. They intercepted at the right time. 4 minutes to go already. Both these sides still yet to break the deadlock after 42 minutes. But who's going to get the edge in the first leg? Will it be Leverkusen or Arsenal? Right now, he's Odegaard. Odegaard to Saka. Saka to Zubimendi. Zubimendi to Gabriel. Gabriel to Zubimendi. Zubimendi to Saka. Saka to Odegaard, but what a tackle. Here's Teller with it. But it is going to be half-time with Leverkusen and Arsenal still locked with 1-1. But of course, Patrick Schick scored the opening goal of this match, scored the penalty goal. But the other players, they're doing their best. If it wasn't for Odegaard's equalizing goal, Leverkusen would have had the lead. But it's half-time, Leverkusen won, Arsenal won. We're going to actually take a look at the match facts here, of course. As you can see, Leverkusen had 4 shots to Arsenal's 1. Of course, we need to go to shooting. Yeah, 4 shots, 1 shot on target to Arsenal's 1 shot, 1 shot on target. We're going to take a look at the highlights. And are there many chances? We're actually going to be taking a look at the recap. Yep, there it is. So basically, it has been cagey in this first half. Nothing to be separated. We're going to take a look at the highlights of the first half. Of course, a chance here for Leverkusen to take the lead. I'm pretty sure that was Teller, I think, if I'm correct. No, it was Schick. Schick actually had the opportunity to take the lead, but it just hit the side netting. It hit the post. But I think Teller actually had the opportunity to score in Leverkusen's first shot. But not long, Schick did manage to score the penalty goal thanks to Hurrien Timber's unfortunate handball. And then Raya was gutted there because he thought he could save it. But you're up against Patrick Schick, so it's impossible. But anyway, Odegaard scored the equalizing goal in just a matter of 5 minutes. And it was clinical. And then Zubimendi's bad tackle on the captain, Andrik. And that's all we have for the first half. Anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Second half will be coming up shortly. First half is over. But second half, we'll decide to see who will win the first leg of this round of 16 clash. Anyway, guys, second half will be coming up shortly, right after the break. Alright, guys, looks like second half has already commenced, with Leverkusen actually going to be taking the one here. Here's Palacios. So, both these sides have been cagey in the first half. Chances at both end, but just couldn't break the deadlock. And now, Leverkusen have the opportunity to maybe take the lead. Or will Arsenal prove too strong? I mean, they are the Gunners, for crying out loud. They always find the way to get back in the game. So, this is going to be very tricky and cagey. Anyway, here's Hurrien Timber. Timber to Odegaard. Odegaard to Saliba. Here's Declan Rice. Rice to Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly to Gyökeres. Gyökeres to Odegaard. What an interception here from Hincapié. Speaking of Hincapié, he's actually on loan with Arsenal. Loan from Bayer Leverkusen. So, we don't know if he's actually going to be playing against his parent club. Sorry. We don't know if he's actually going to be playing against his parent club. So, this could be a dicey situation for both these sides to figure this out. But anyway, Arsenal have the opportunity. And Bukayo Saka does not mess this one up as he gives Arsenal the lead. Gotta take a look at the replay here. Odegaard was completely through. A through ball pass from him finds Bukayo Saka, the star boy. And somehow Arsenal, they take the lead over Leverkusen for the first time. And God, I don't know how many minutes and how long they've taken the lead. But it is what it is. But yeah, they've taken the lead for the first time. But don't get a bit cocky because Leverkusen do have the opportunity to come back in this half. And if they actually do, we are in for an absolute banger of a football match. But anyway, it's going to be a substitution here for Leverkusen. Alex Garcia comes on for Arthur. Not the Arthur from Liverpool and Barcelona. Not that Arthur. But this Arthur, the Leverkusen Arthur. But yeah, looks like Garcia has it, the player who's coming on for Arthur. He finds Andrik. Andrik to Tillman, then to Schick. Patrick Schick to Palacios, back to Schick. Schick shoots, and he scores the equalizing goal. My oh my. Patrick Schick, the Czech Republic player, who scored a brace against Olympiacos, does score the equalizing goal. What a pass here from, I don't know who, but it was Palacios. And what a finish here from Patrick Schick. Raya tried to save this one, but unfortunately for him, it was too much for him to make a save. But what a finish here from Patrick Schick, as he now gives Leverkusen the equalizing goal. Leverkusen really have a clinical striker, and that is, of course, Patrick Schick. Right now, here's Gyökeres. Gyökeres makes a wonderful cross to Timber. We're already almost reached the 3/4 of this football match. The BayArena fans are erupting because this has been an absolute of a banger. An absolute entertaining game. But it's still with Leverkusen though. Teller has it. Teller to Andrik. Andrik to Grimaldo. Grimaldo to Teller. Teller feeds the ball to Schick in the box. But somehow Saliba gets the block on Schick. And it's going to be a corner kick for Leverkusen. Hoffman will be coming on for Teller. Was that a very good game so far? No foul play. No bad performances. Oh, it's actually a goal kick for Arsenal. I thought it was corner kick. Anyway, Arsenal really have to find their way. Maybe have a slim lead at the BayArena so then they can maybe try to dominate Leverkusen at the Emirates in the second leg. But we don't know if this is actually going to happen here. Garcia finds Schick. It's still with Leverkusen. It's Tillman. Tillman to Schick. Still Schick. Schick shoots. Patrick Schick shoots, but somehow Raya makes an impeccable save. Terrific save from the Spaniard. He was on the verge of scoring a hat-trick, but Raya prevents him from that. And it's a corner kick here for Leverkusen. And it's Grimaldo to take it. He goes for a good long cross, but Lewis Kelly manages to find this one. He finds Odegaard. Odegaard to Saka. Saka to Gyökeres. Still Gyökeres. Gyökeres finds Saka with the overlapping run. Still Saka. Saka to Gyökeres. Gyökeres to Odegaard. But somehow Arsenal missed the attacking opportunity and Leverkusen get this one away. However, Bukayo Saka wins the ball from the Leverkusen players and they have it. However, Leverkusen wins it back and Tillman is on the attack. Malik Tillman. He's on the verge of finding Patrick Schick, who is in form right now. Scored a brace. He's on the verge of scoring a hat-trick. He finds Grimaldo, but what a savior from David Raya. Both these sides have had almost the same passing accuracy. Well, passing accuracy might be different, but passes maybe. But anyway, substitution here for Arsenal. Mikel Merino comes on for Martin Zubimendi, who's already on a yellow card. They don't want to take any chances of actually playing him for the whole 90 minutes. But anyway, Leverkusen does miss the opportunity to take the lead. And this could be pivotal because the next leg it's played at the Emirates and Leverkusen did actually get battered at Arsenal's home ground. It was not at the Emirates, it was at Highbury, Arsenal's old stadium. They got battered. So Leverkusen really have to take this lead and hope for the best in the second leg. So right now, Leverkusen are doing pretty okay here. Schick finds Grimaldo. Grimaldo's through. He might have the opportunity to score the winning goal, but what a savior from Raya. And it's going to be a substitution here for Arsenal again. But this time it's from the right back with Hurrien Timber coming on, or coming off for Ben White. Sorry, not coming on, coming off. But it's a corner kick here for Leverkusen. It's Hoffman with it. Still Hoffman. Hoffman to Grimaldo. Grimaldo shoots, but what a save from Raya. This is an entertaining football game. Nothing to be separated. And that's what the fans really need right now. But anyway, here's Lewis Kelly. Lewis Kelly to Rice. Rice to Trossard. Trossard to Gyökeres. Arsenal really have to find their way back. Find their way to get a slim lead. And that was a kill-edged opportunity to make it 3-2. Only for Mark Flecken to make a wonderful save. But anyway, substitution here for Arsenal. It's Christian Norgard coming in for Lewis Kelly. So he's going to be playing shape-shift left back. I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing well. But it's corner kick here for Arsenal. And Saliba wastes the opportunity to give the winning goal for Arsenal. That was an opportunity here for the Gunners to have an edge lead over Leverkusen. But Leverkusen kind of survived that one. Here's Garcia. Garcia to Tillman. Malik Tillman with it. Still Tillman. Tillman finds Schick. Back to Tillman. Tillman to Andrik. Back to Tillman. Then to Schick. But what a tackle here from Saliba. And it's a save from Raya. 3 minutes of added time before the 90-minute full-time whistle blows. Are Arsenal going for a draw? This could be their tactic here. Because Bayer Leverkusen had the opportunity to take the lead. But Arsenal managed to hold on. Anyway, here's Gyökeres. Still Gyökeres. He finds Bukayo Saka. Saka shoots from distance. But what a save from Flecken. What a monumental save from Mark Flecken, the former Brentford keeper. He does have history playing in the Premier League, so he knows Arsenal pretty well. But what a save from him. And he was actually the replacement keeper for David Raya. Because Raya also played for Brentford. So, yeah. But anyway, corner kick here for Arsenal. Gyökeres had the opportunity to take the lead, but he scuffed his header. And it's full time with both these sides still locked at 2-2 at the end of the first leg. The players will be happy about this. But as long as they back their words in the second leg. But anyway, Patrick Schick had a brilliant performance, scored a brace, but unlucky to score a hat-trick, which could have put Leverkusen in front. But all thanks to the Arsenal keeper and the defenders, keeping it at 2-2. And yes, full time it's Bayer Leverkusen 2, Arsenal 2. And this will be the predicted scoreline at the end of the round of 16 first leg. But anyway, guys, we're going to take a look at the match facts before we wrap this up. Anyway, Leverkusen still dominate in terms of the possession here. Well, not possession-wise, but Arsenal did, of course. But Leverkusen, in terms of creating chances, they've actually dominated. In shooting-wise, 9 shots, 6 shots on target to Leverkusen, to Arsenal 6 shots, 4 shots on target. And now let's take a look at the highlighter. And there were actually more chances in the second half. So we're actually going to do the entire recap. So yeah, the recap will be coming up shortly. Alright guys, so we're starting off with the match recap. So basically there was an opportunity here for Leverkusen. It was actually Teller. He had the opportunity to score the opening goal for Leverkusen, but just botched his effort wide. And then, of course, he was frustrated, by the way, if you can see his expression. Number 23 player, by the way. And then Patrick Schick had the opportunity to score the opening goal, but his effort just hits the post. Raya was lucky because that would have gone in. That would have really gone in. But however, it didn't take long for Patrick Schick to not score. It didn't take long for him to score because that frustration only lasted for a few minutes because Schick scored the penalty goal and that gave Leverkusen the lead. But then Odegaard scored the equalizing goal in the matter of 5 minutes. Like, that was a wonderful finish from the Norwegian. And then Zubimendi's bad tackle on the captain, Leverkusen captain, Andrik. But then Arsenal took the lead for the first time, thanks to a finish from Bukayo Saka. Flecken tried to save that one, but couldn't. But however, their main man, Schick, scored the equalizing goal, just cancelled Arsenal's lead in just a matter of few minutes. And then Leverkusen had the opportunity to take the lead. It was a wonderful effort from the number 14, Schick, but Raya made a save. And then, again, it was Grimaldo that had the opportunity to score, but then Raya made another save. And then it was Grimaldo yet again from open. Again had the opportunity. Raya again with another save. This man has made too many saves recently. Might be the next Seaman here. But Arsenal had the opportunity to kill the game. Gyökeres had the chance, but Flecken made a save. What a save from this keeper, man. He's excited because that was the best save for Leverkusen for now, but of course. But then Saliba had the opportunity. His header was off target. Nothing much to say here. And then I think in the 90th minute, Bukayo Saka had the opportunity to score from distance. It was a powerful effort here. But another save from Mark Flecken, man. What a save from this keeper. And that was all she wrote in the first leg. But anyway, guys, let's take a look at the performance and see who actually did well. No surprise, it was Patrick Schick. Of course, got an 8.7 rating, scored a brace. But Martin Odegaard was Arsenal's best player so far. Scored a goal and assisted one. So he's Arsenal's best player right now. So that could probably be the predicted scoreline here for these two sides. These two sides anyway. And yeah, I can't wait for this game. Because it's going to be happening on Thursday morning, early morning for us. But in people living in UK and other European countries, it's happening in evening. So if you know, you know. Wednesday evening, by the way. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. And we'll be back for our next match. Goodbye. Hello guys, we're back, and just as you witnessed, this game was peak entertainment, absolute cinema, and yeah, both these sides edged 2-2. 4 goals scored, but 2 goals scored in each teams. Of course, Bayer Leverkusen started thanks to a Patrick Schick penalty goal, but then Martin Odegaard scored the equalizing goal, and it was 1-1 at halftime. But then Bukayo Saka scored the goal to give Arsenal the lead for the first time, and boy, they needed that goal, but it didn't took long for Leverkusen to equalize because Patrick Schick yet again had a masterclass performance, scored a second goal for Leverkusen, but also he scored a brace for himself. And because of this, Leverkusen and Arsenal had a cagey performance. Both grinded at a 2-2 draw at the first leg, and this could be the predicted scoreline which will happen on Wednesday night. And I have a feeling that this game is going to be an absolute cinema here, and it's going to be peak entertainment. If you guys are football fans, please do make sure to watch the UCL knockout games. I am actually going to be interested in watching those matches. Depends if I have important days though, but still, I am hyped for this. No matter what. Not because my team is in action, but because of other games as well, like Newcastle versus Barcelona, Real Madrid versus Man City, PSG versus Chelsea, Liverpool versus Galatasaray, and the list goes on and on. And even Bodo Glimt, out of all teams, one of the underdogs actually joining in the round of 16, apart from Sporting Lisbon and Galatasaray. Well, Galatasaray are actually fighting with Europe's elite, so I wouldn't say I could count them as underdogs, but we have seen them beat big teams. But Bodo Glimt, Sporting Lisbon, they could be the two underdogs fighting maybe to go deeper in this competition. But anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this one. Please make sure to like and subscribe. This is Brisbane 05 Blaster here, signing off.